Today we'll be adding a board and batten accent wall to the nursery. I'm trying to do this as budget friendly as I know how, so I decided to go with 1/2 inch MDF. Our baseboards in the room are also 1/2 inch thick, so these should look pretty flush on the wall without any overhang. I bought one full sheet of MDF 4 foot by 8 foot for about $45 and had Home Depot cut them in half long ways. This helps with maneuvering it around my car and also the garage. If you don't want to cut your wood into strips like I'm doing here with the table saw, then you'll have to go with whatever your store has that's already pre-cut. I'll leave a link in the description to some alternatives that you can use. I tried doing my own math to plan out the spacing for the vertical pieces, but that didn't turn out too well, as the spacing was not even across the wall after I had installed everything. So I took it all down and tried a second time, thinking that I had the right spacing this time, and again it was off. So I went to this website called Inch Calculator. They have a calculator that will tell you the spacing you'll need between your pieces. You give it the total width of the wall, how wide your vertical pieces are, and it'll tell you the spacing between each piece. So what I did was, after I got this measurement, I cut a spacer, basically a scrap piece of MDF, to 18 and 9/16 of an inch, and use that to easily get the right spacing. I highly recommend using this calculator to make things easy, and I'll leave a link to it in the description. I cut the first vertical piece to length, about 4 foot tall for the right hand side, and that's when I noticed that the corners of this wall are pretty dang uneven. I'll fill these gaps in with polyfoam and caulking, but that's later on. Next, I did the horizontal piece at the top using my laser level to help me keep it level. Since the wall span was wider than 8 foot, I had to put 2 pieces of MDF here. I cut the ends of where the 2 MDF pieces would meet to 45 degrees each, making a scarf joint to conceal the seam better. I took measurements of where all the vertical pieces would be and I cut them all to length. Mounting the vertical pieces goes by pretty fast if you have that spacer I was talking about at the beginning and all your pieces already pre-cut. I used the level just to double check that these were straight. Since none of the vertical pieces were on top of the wall studs, I made sure to shoot my 2-inch brad nails in 2 different angles. If I was nailing into the top half of the MDF, I shot them slightly downward and slightly upward if I was nailing into the bottom half. This sort of creates hooks with the brad nails that allows the MDF to mount onto the wall better. I didn't use any glue here. After I got all the MDF installed, it was just a matter of filling in all the nail holes with wood filler and spackle, and there were a lot since I technically had to redo this a few times from my bad math in the beginning. I probably should have installed the trim at the very top before doing all that sanding, but in any case, the trim I used here was just some extra pine cove molding that I had laying around. Again, I used 45-degree cuts since I had to join 2 of them together since the wall was wider than 8 foot. But yeah, after all the sanding, what I did was wiped away any dust with some tack cloth. Then I got my shop vac and picked up any remaining dust that was still there. Then I put in the polyfoam caulk saver at the very edges where those gaps were. Then I started to caulk all the seams. Since I'm using MDF, I sealed it with Kills 2 primer, then finished it off with 2 coats of muted sage from Behr. And that's it for this accent wall. This project cost me a total of about a little over $70, $45 for the sheet of MDF, $10 for the cove molding, and another $16 for a quart of the paint. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.